You're listening to The Bird Bath. This episode of The Bird Bath is brought to you by Ignite Veterinary Solutions. Last week was Veterinary Receptionist Week. Did you take a moment to recognize the people who keep your practice running? They're not just receptionists who answer phones. They shape the client experience. They keep your schedule moving forward, and they make everything work. That's why Ignite, a global veterinary learning company, has built the Veterinary Receptionist Certificate of Excellence, or the VRCE. Now, it was last week, but you know what? Much like Mother's Day, I think veterinary receptionists deserve the love every single week. So, if you want to take advantage of this incredible opportunity to upskill the teams that keep you moving, right now you can get 25% off enrollment of the Veterinary Receptionist Certificate of Excellence. This isn't just training, it's confidence that shows up in every single client interaction. Go to vrce.vet and use the promo code BIRDBATH25 at checkout. Make this the moment your front desk levels up. Welcome back to the Bird Bath. Each week we scrape the surface of the news you need to know, so let's get into it. This last Saturday was a very special day for anyone that listens to this show or has a pet. It was World Veterinary Day. And to honor this special day that's been celebrated since the early 2000s, I think 2000 was the first year that it was nationally and globally and worldwide galactically recognized. But in honor of this, the Westminster Kennel Club has opened nominations for their 2026 Westminster Veterinarian of the Year. It's an award that they present alongside Purina Pro Plan Veterinary, and you get a chance to vote. That's right. The Westminster Kennel Club is celebrating the 5th year of giving out this incredible honor, and it's one of these opportunities where if there's a vet in your life that you really want to put up on that pedestal and let people know all the incredible things that they do, you can vote. Your patients can vote. Your patients can't vote because, they probably can't use a computer, but your clients can vote. All the people that really get impacted by the incredible people that do so much of the work in our industry have the chance to take care of those local hometown heroes. Last year, Dr. Sarah K. Lyle of Baton Rouge, Louisiana won, and I'm looking forward to seeing who brings home the win this year. And you know what? I'm going to say it right now. If you win, I'd love to have you on the show. So let's go ahead and say it. Whoever wins 2026 World Veterinarian of the Year, I'd love to have them on the show, give them a spotlight, and let them talk about whatever matters to them. Our next story comes to us from a little bit outside the big city. Rural King and PetMeds have partnered up to launch a new veterinary pharmacy offering. The goal here is to expand access to prescription medications, preventatives, and pet health products for consumers across the Rural King's retail stores and digital platform. That's right, digital platform. Those are the words that we keep hearing about. Now, I wasn't too familiar with Rural King, so I looked it up and I read a really interesting review about what you can expect there. One reviewer said they've got a super wide variety and a quality akin to Walmart. Popcorn is never salted. I buy chicken feed and have gotten some good use from various clothings like boots and hats. Dog foods and treats sometimes too, and motor oil. Oh, and guns, tools, kayaks, and horsewhips. That's right, people. If you are looking for anything, it sounds like Rural King is the place to go. PetMeds is going to be providing the pharmacy infrastructure, and the licensed pharmacist and commercial capabilities are coming along with them to make sure that Rural King can not only provide an increased capability within their brick and mortar stores, but that e-commerce side of things. Now, Rural King is not a small business. They have 150 stores across 17 states, and this is going to be the first time that PetMeds Express has white labeled their services and really looked to expand their footprint. Now, the timing is pretty interesting. It comes across a lot of interesting things as I look at this. On the PetMeds side of things, the company PetMeds Express, which has the stock ticker PETS, which is just great, has been going through a lot. They have seen their stock price go up and down. Last year, they got 2 unsolicited acquisition offers that temporarily spiked the prices, but those companies quickly faded away. One was Cardone Ventures with Grant Cardone, another was Silver Cape Investments. Both of those companies sort of faded off into the dark, but just in February, there was another company out of the Miami area that made an announcement they had bought a very large share of the business with the expectation that big things were coming. Now, this could be one of those big things that we're seeing. So why do I feel a little bullish and excited about what I'm hearing here? Well, if you go back to December 2024, there was another company that you might think of when you're thinking about motor oil, guns, tools, kayaks, and horsewhips, and that's Tractor Supply. Tractor Supply in December of 2024 acquired a company called AlliVet. And if you haven't heard of AlliVet, that's probably because you haven't been looking at the bottles in your pet's drug drawer, or whatever you want to call it, home pharmacy. AlliVet was fulfilling a ton of prescriptions for a lot of different companies. The AKC, their online pharmacy, Tractor Supply's online pharmacy, white label pharmacies across the market, as well as their own AlliVet branded pharmacy. So Tractor Supply acquired AlliVet to grow this footprint, and they have been absolutely gangbusters. They've been doing a great job really expanding the footprint of their online pharmacy. And if we go back to, it has to be required. I'm going to require it in every April episode here, but we got to talk about Chewy, right? And the expansion that they're seeing and the value that they're seeing from their online pharmacy growth. So PetMeds could be looking at this as an expansion of their business, maybe follow that AlliVet playbook to be able to increase the places in which they can sell their pharmaceuticals. Or is this a place where we see an outside capital partner grab up Rural King, grab up PetMeds, and really find this as a way to expand the brand's presence into an area where we are seeing less access to care, more rural areas. So really excited to see this. Congratulations to both companies. Hope everyone knows I'm just giving them a hard time here as a city slicker. And I think this is a really cool thing to keep your eye on. Another thing to keep your eye on is Fear Free. They have been growing like crazy, and they have a really cool new white paper that talks about Fear Free certified veterinary practices. The practices that have gone through and maintained that certified veterinary practice status with Fear Free report significantly lower workplace injury rates than non-certified practices. They went through a 5-year period looking at all the different data of injuries within those clinics, and they found that 22% fewer overall workplace injuries occurred, 24% fewer animal bites and scratches occurred, and this is the big one when we're thinking about money here and the cost of care, 52% fewer professional liability claims. Now, why does this matter? Well, it matters on a ton of factors. One, you're seeing fewer of the people that provide this important care getting injured, which is spectacular. And it's coming from changing the way that you're maybe approaching the animals that you're working with. Also, it's showing that the animals are reacting positively to that, right? Like if you're handling them in a way that they feel more comfortable, you're reducing their fear and anxiety and stress, you're finding that they're probably biting and scratching less often. So it's less a statistic and maybe more a proof in the pudding of what Fear Free is bringing to the space. Now, if I put on my capitalist hat, which is never far away, 52% fewer professional liability claims is nothing to scoff at. That is a real meaningful way to reduce the cost of what's happening in your back office and what the expenses of running a clinic are. If you can demonstrate, and I hope that the PLIT people are listening to this, if people can demonstrate that there's a reduction in the cost of covering the liability of those clinics, maybe we can see that start to trickle down and find a way to change what the overall cost of care is happening in the clinic. It's something, I know we're all talking about some of this inventory moving out of the practices. We're talking about upskilling and allowing people to work at the top of their license, but insurance is a huge, huge cost of this. And we're not talking about pet insurance, we're talking about liability insurance and professional liability insurance. And so the opportunity to perhaps bring that down could be a really meaningful way for businesses to see additional value in that fear-free certification. Now, if Fear Free is a company that you're excited about, they are hiring a chief veterinary officer. They've got an open position for somebody that wants to help guide the veterinary teams in sort of this next phase of growth that Fear Free is going through. So If this is interesting, make sure you apply. Tell them Ryan sent you. Tell them the Bird Bath put you onto this. I think it's an incredible company. I've always enjoyed every time I've had the opportunity to work with their team there. And I hope someone as incredible as their former chief veterinary officer, Dr. Merlo, was, can take this role and continue this onward progression for them. Finally, I didn't know if I wanted to hit on this one, but I think it's worth hitting on just because of what it means. A, because it sounds like a great guy got a great job, but also it sounds like we're seeing another one of these industry notices telling us that something's happening. NVA, National Veterinary Associates, has hired Todd S. Young as their chief financial officer. He starts the May 1st. So Todd, welcome aboard. You're going to be coming into the vet world hot and heavy here. And the big thing that's about this is that this is another C-suite member joining NVA's team. Now, Todd brings in 25 years across human and animal healthcare. He was the CFO of Acadia Healthcare, and he handled all the finances and the operational things. And then previously, he was the executive vice president and CFO at Elanco, which all of you know. He was a big part of bringing Elanco as an independently public entity and setting up that new public business. What, Ryan? Public business. They just brought in a CFO that has previously brought a company public in the animal health space. I think we know where this is going. This is kind of that last person that you need in the line to bring a company into a publicly traded market. So all the chips are on the table here. All the dominoes are lined up. I think it's just a matter of time for us to see this NVA IPO announced. I'm going to be really interested to see sort of what's involved in that. Where does Ethos fit into this? How do they look at their different businesses? What does JAB think about this? So big stories, and one that the second I hear about it, I am going to be doing a breaking story for you. So congratulations, Todd. Welcome back into the animal health world. And to everyone at NVA, welcome to the new boss, and hope that everything is going well there. And for more on these and other stories, join us by subscribing to our Substack. There's a link in the bio. And don't miss out on any episodes by subscribing and rating the show. For the Bird Bath, I'm Ryan Leach. See you next week.